What if your readers could experience your book and your wisdom in real time? In this episode, I'm going to be talking about some advanced techniques in storytelling that are becoming available to us because of technology. Stay tuned.
Are you an entrepreneur, small business owner, or consultant looking to boost your authority, influence, and impact? The Author Switch podcast with best-selling, award-winning author Carma Spence is your answer. Tune in for actionable advice, powerful strategies, and engaging interviews to turn on your author switch and take your business to the next dimension.
The Author Switch.
Hi, and welcome to the Author Switch podcast. I'm your host, Carma Spence, and I help executive coaches, business leaders, and consultants write, publish, and market a client attracting book in 90 days or less so that you can grow your business. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about interactive storytelling. It's revolutionizing reader engagement in business books. And I'm going to be sharing with you some of these cutting edge ideas that some are happening right now and some are right around the corner. So, what are the key features of interactive books? One, there's an incorporation of multimedia elements. Interactive books are no longer just text. They come alive with audio and video and animations and graphics, and these elements come together to make your book more engaging, which is becoming increasingly important as new generations are being raised, immersed in digital environments. And I'm sorry to say this, but an ordinary book is beginning to look blasé to them until such a time as suddenly it becomes retro cool. But right now, interactive books are on the forefront, and there are people out there who are experimenting with them. And I mean, I've even included some interactive elements such as QR codes and a website and things like that. Very minor, early, old school interactivity. Some interactivity is created by assignments and quizzes. And if you're doing a business book, this is actually fairly common. Public Speaking Superpowers had that. At the end of every chapter, I included some exercises that you could do to fully engage with the content from that chapter. I've seen other books that do the same thing. In other words, it's kind of like a textbook, but gamified, more fun. And interactive books also have a user-friendly interface. They make it easier for people to highlight text, which is what you can do on a Kindle, take notes, share insights on social media, things like that. Kindle is completely doing this right now. I have friends who will they'll highlight a part of the ebook that they're reading and automatically post it on social media. And it's clear that that came out of the Kindle or whatever e-reader they're using. And so that's sort of like on the cutting edge of what the tech's been doing. Those are the key features of interactive books as they are now, but there are emerging trends as well. One of them is AI-enabled living books. Basically, people are integrating AI with their books to take them to the next dimension, so to speak. And this allows for an interactive dialogue between the reader and the text. These living books adapt their content based on their readers' questions and preferences. So it's kind of like those choose your own ending books, but it's more interactive. And I've seen this in action in chatbots, where the AI for the chatbot has been trained on the content from the person's blog posts and things like that. And that way, a person can come and interact with the chatbot and get information that the person would have given if they had been there. Well, you use that same technology with a book and you create this sort of living book that's interactive with the reader. Another example is your book could offer tailored advice based on the reader's input, creating a highly personalized coaching experience. So it could be like a coach in a book where the person doesn't actually have to read the entire book. They only get fed the content in the book that's relevant to them and their current situation. Another emerging trend is augmented reality books. That's AR. AR books combine traditional print with digital content, which is activated by smartphone apps. And this technology can make concepts more tangible, more engaging. And the way you do this is, for example, let's say you're talking about a business framework. You could create a 3D imagery of that framework that the person could push a button on their app and be able to interact with this 3D thing. Now, it's not hologram level yet. It's 3D image and an app, but there you go. It's reality, but it's augmented a little bit. Gamification is another emerging trend. And I don't know why they called it an emerging trend because in a way we've been kind of doing it for a while. But there's new game-like elements that are being added to books, such as rewards and challenges and levels that can make reading more engaging and fun. So, for example, you could gamify your content by offering badges for completing chapters or unlocking bonus materials for completing certain tasks. For example, you have a chapter, and at the end of the chapter, they would snap a QR code or something like that. And then to make sure that they actually completed that chapter, they have to answer a question that could only be answered by someone who read that chapter. And then that unlocks something, a special badge, a piece of additional content, something like that. And that encourages people to read your book and engage with it. And maybe when they've collected so many badges, they get a prize. One thing now, if someone reads your entire book and collects all the badges, more than likely they are highly engaged with the content that you have, and they are probably more likely to become a client. Therefore, why not send that person a physical gift? So let's say you have 10 chapters. Once someone has collected 10 of these badges, an automation is triggered that mails them a t-shirt. And don't tell them they're going to get this t-shirt. Just suddenly, bam, they get like a few days after they finish the book, this box comes in the mail. And in the box is this t-shirt and a little letter that says, "Congratulations on completing the book and collecting all 10 badges. Here is your prize t-shirt. And I would love to talk to you. Why don't you go to this URL and we'll hop on a call and I can help you figure out how to use the content you just read in your business." How cool would that be? How cool would that be? And you know what? Once one person did it, they'd spread the word and more people would do it. And yes, you might fill up your calendar with people who are tire kickers. This is true. That said, or you might send your t-shirt to people who will never become your client. That said, if you're selling a high ticket thing, so let's say for every 10 people that hop on a call with you, you get one client and it pays for all that, those t-shirts and more. Make it so the finances work. And then, of course, there are books that are mixing things. It's called mixed reality and virtual reality. Mixed reality and VR can transform static text into immersive environments that offer a unique way to engage with readers. This blows my mind. I can't wait until I can implement something like this because this is amazing. So you know how Google has come out, or was it Apple? I think it's Apple who came out with the 3D glasses, which I will admit kind of gives me pause because it makes me think of that Star Trek episode where people are playing the game and then they become zombies because they're being ruled by the game because it's like getting right into their eye, which gets right into the brain. Okay, so I've watched too much TV. But if you use this power for good, imagine if you could create an artificial world that helps people engage with your information in a 3D environment. So they put on these VR glasses and suddenly they're in a world that you created. Maybe they meet an AIU who they can, okay, now I'm thinking shades of Leia Brahm. Dr. Leia Brahm on Star Trek and Geordi falling in love with her. That might be weird. That I suppose that could happen. Let's not make that happen. But the possibilities are endless here. It's pretty exciting. And yet it's still your book. It's still your book. You just have to add these little bells and whistles. But they're exciting. It reminds me there was an author, I can't even remember the book anymore. It was a fiction book where they had a website that was related to their fiction book where you would click a button and you like entered into this little cartoon world that was like their fantasy land. And it was really, really cool. Well, can you imagine taking that 2D experience and making it 3D with the help of VR? I'm so excited. So, before I go on, let's have this quick commercial break. Every great book begins with a single idea, but what transforms that idea into a masterpiece? Introducing All You Need is the Right Roadmap, your guide to navigating the writing process with ease and confidence. Unlock the secret to creating an outline that not only structures your book, but also inspires your writing journey. Embark on the path to writing success. Your adventure begins now. Coming soon to Amazon.com. Hello and welcome back to the Author Switch podcast. I am your host, Carma Spence, and I help executive coaches, business leaders, and consultants write, market, and publish their client-attracting books so that they can grow their business. Now, before the break, I was talking about the key features of interactive books, as well as some emerging trends of this new world that we're entering of interactive storytelling. Now, in this half, I'm going to be talking about some of the advantages and disadvantages or challenges of having interactive books. Let's first look at the perks. I got some good news and maybe some less than good news. Let's start with the good news, okay? The good news is that interactive books can enhance engagement and retention. These interactive elements significantly boost reader engagement and knowledge retention, which is really important for us nonfiction authors because we want to impart our wisdom and we want them to be able to use this wisdom to improve their lives, right? So if you can get it so that they learn it at a deeper level than just reading a book, yeah, totally. So your readers will not just read your book, they experience your book. Now, there are ways to make them experience your book in text format, but it becomes so much more powerful when you add in all these interactive elements. And it's becoming more and more possible with AI technology. Second advantage is personalized reading experiences. Interactive ebooks can track progress and adapt content to provide a tailored experience. Readers can customize their layout and their view to suit their preferences. This personalized approach can make your content more relevant and more impactful because they're experiencing your book their way. It's kind of like your book is the Burger King of the library, helping readers have it their way. Another advantage is social collaboration. Interactive books facilitate social sharing and collaboration, allowing readers to discuss and share insights. Like I said, Kindle is starting to do this already with the social sharing. Now, if you could add in maybe a discussion group, which makes me think of an author I interviewed at another episode. I can never remember his name, but I remember his book's name. It's easy to remember because the name of the book is Be a Dick. Because it's a story of this neighbor he had whose name was Dick, who he learned all these life lessons from. And he's sharing these life lessons and he's saying we should all be more like Dick. Well, he built a community. So people are going into the community and they're interacting with each other and sharing stories of how they are like Dick or how they experienced something that was like Dick or, whatever. When you add this sort of community interactivity and layer on the ability to share on social, you create a more engaged audience. And a more engaged audience is more likely to either buy from you or refer others to buy from you. Because remember, just because someone doesn't buy from you doesn't mean they don't make you money. They could actually be sending people your way. So treat everybody with kindness and respect. Just say. So, those are all the roses, and that's looking at the whole picture with rose-colored glasses. It's time to take off the glasses and stare the challenges in the face, because if you're not aware of the challenges, they could bite you in the butt, and I don't want that for you. So what are the challenges and things you need to consider before you leap wholeheartedly into this whole interactive storytelling realm? One is balancing technology with traditional reading. You've got to balance these two things. While technology can offer numerous benefits, it's essential to balance it with traditional reading practices. The people in your audience have different learning styles and preferences, and there are going to be people in your audience who are going to prefer the actual reading experience to all the bells and whistles. You're also going to have people in your audience who want all the bells and whistles and probably don't read. And you're going to have people who do a little bit of both and flow in and out. So you want to provide a balance of experiences so that you can meet people where they are and help them consume your content based on their own preferences and learning styles. You want to ensure that your interactive elements enhance your content rather than distract from it, because it's very easy to get carried away with all the bells and whistles, and suddenly you've got a vapid book because no one's paying attention to it. They're saying, "Oh, look at that." It's like, no, you're in this to make a transformation. So you want the technology to enhance that transformation, not detract from it. You also want to ensure accuracy and authenticity. Maintaining both of these things in an AI generated content multimedia element environment is crucial, because errors and biases can undermine your book's credibility. And we've all heard these stories. We've all heard these stories of where someone asks AI something and it gives back a clearly agenda filled answer. You don't want that to happen to you in your book. Let the big companies go deal with that on their soil. On your soil, the only agenda that the AI needs to serve is the agenda of the book. Now, your book may have an agenda that's underlying, but as long as you're authentic about it, that's fine. That's fine. So, in summary, interactive books are revolutionizing the way we read and learn. For business leaders, for executive coaches, for consultants, and other entrepreneurs, these innovations offer a powerful tool to create engaging, impactful, and client attracting content. So if you are considering writing a book, think about how you can incorporate these interactive elements to enhance readers' experience and make your book stand out. And if you just want to write an ordinary book that gives you extraordinary results, put a comment in the comments and reach out to me. Go to carmaspence.com/schedule and schedule a call with me. And I will hook you up with my upcoming program, which will get you from idea to first draft in 8 weeks. 8 weeks. And the only reason it's taking that long is because I'm allowing for life to happen, because I know you're busy. Because we really could do it in a weekend. But I know you have a life and I know you're busy. So I'm giving you a container of 8 weeks and you can do it and I can help. This is Carma Spence at the end of the Author Switch podcast saying ciao for now. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Author Switch podcast. If you enjoyed today's show and want to support its mission, here's how to help. First, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps my channel grow and reach more aspiring and established authors. Your ratings and reviews are invaluable. They help me reach more listeners and continue delivering top-notch content. To catch up on past episodes, including those no longer available on podcast platforms, visit authorswitch.com/episodes. There, you can choose to watch or listen to your favorite episodes at your convenience. If you'd like to show additional support, consider dropping a tip in the tip jar at buymeacoffee.com/Carma Spence. Your contributions help keep the podcast running and are greatly appreciated. Thank you for being a part of the Author Switch community. Until next time, keep writing.